You know, as a developer, sometimes you got a lot of work at time and you just have to fix some things. So sorry I've not been here. Sorry I've not dropped any video as promised. But I'm here today. We're gonna be dropping a lot of videos throughout this week. I don't want to use what we use here. We call it back to back. We're gonna be dropping some videos back to back. Okay, like I promised, you know, the last time we had a class, I promised that we'll be going to CSS, but I discovered there are a few things I'm yet to cover in HTML, which I think are very, very important. Which I think I just have to cover them so that we could be on the right page. So when you're outside there and you see your friend doing things, you don't just look at it as, oh, my lecturer never taught me this. Okay, so let's get started. So today I'm gonna have a slide I'll be using, but I'll be making use of my notepad here. I mean my Sublime Text to put in everything together. So I want to take in some special HTML tags. Remember the last time I omitted the div tag, and I promised to explain that when the time is right. So let me start with the div tag firstly. Okay, what is a div tag? Div actually it's just like the name implies, division, just to divide your pages into sections, into different areas, just to organize your page. For instance, if we look at this particular site we have designed back then, let me try and see if I could open this. Let me open the site so that we could get to see how it looks like then. Okay, remember we have this, so we could just divide this into different sections by using div. Okay, I could say, okay, let the div tag, I believe by now we all know the div tag. Let me just put it somewhere here before I start using it. This is the div tag. Simple as this. So I could say, okay, let me just do it this way. Let me put my form in a div, then my paragraph in a div, my URL on another list in a div, and so on and so forth, just to divide the page, just to make it look neat, and some other things. Now whenever you're using a div normally carries some attributes. It carries either a class attribute or an ID attribute, and sometimes you could carry the two. Now you don't have to bother yourself what does class attribute means, what does ID attribute means. When we get to CSS, I'll be making use of those things back to back. I'll be making use of them every day, every time. So it's one of the reasons why I'm explaining the div, because I'll be getting to CSS like very, very, very soon. But I just want us to be on the same page. I don't want to show anybody be outside and you'll be able to move around with your colleague. You'll be able to flow at the same point they are flowing, because probably they think probably you went through a free tutorial or something. No. It's free, but it should be worth it. It should, anything worth doing, it's worth doing well. Okay, so let's get started. So for instance, now I'm going to divide this into different divs. Okay, let me start with my header here. Let me say, okay, I'll say, okay, div. Now give it a class name. Like I said, the class name to be page title. So this is div, the class name, page title. Now if you check your page, it doesn't make any difference. Actually, it doesn't show anything. It doesn't make the site changes. But someone might be like, so why the fuck are you teaching me this when it doesn't make anything? Sorry for using the language. Sorry, why are you teaching me this when it's not making any difference? Okay, fine, it's not making any difference now, but you're gonna need it. It's gonna make difference later. Probably when we start using the likes of CSS, you're gonna need to reference that particular thing. So we're gonna use a class to reference it. We're gonna use the ID to reference it. Okay, let me explain in a better way so that I won't be bugging you. I won't be bugging you with terminologies. Every human being has a name or an alias. So most time we use either our name or our alias to get at us. There are times some people want to talk to you, they don't know your name, but they know your alias. They'll be like, oh, Don, this, that. So if you don't have a name, if they want to talk to you, how do they get across to you? That'll be very, very difficult. For instance, just look at me now. Assuming I don't have a name and you want to talk to me, you want to drop comment, you want to drop something in the comment section, you just say, hey man, this man is still good because I have a gender. You don't know my gender, you don't know my name, you just say, hey. I might not be placed with A, but when you put A KBC, A man, A this, A that, that will make me understand, okay, someone is trying to talk to me, someone is trying to chat me up, someone is trying to say something to me. So the same thing applies, which is that we're trying to give a name to different section of our codes. Okay, this name, this particular place, the class is page title, which means a page title contains the h1 element, which h1 element is curved around around my website. You understand? Okay, now we have, like, for instance, now we have our ahref, we have our image, we have our paragraph. And when everything is just there, when it's just, imagine when you start writing a lot of codes and you have to write website that has just like 2,000 lines of codes. How do you get them organized? Everything gets scattered. So Dave will just organize your site for you, be able to, okay, from this place to this place, be a so name, for this place to this name, has so ID. So you could say, instead of using class, I could say ID. Doesn't make any difference. It's the same thing. It's when it's time to reference them, probably using CSS. That is when there's a difference between the class and the ID. Okay, so I believe you get this now. You get the way the div work. But don't worry if you don't get it very well. You'll soon get it when we get down to CSS. You get to understand it perfectly. Now I have some tags in HTML. They are called semantic elements in HTML. These tags are actually used, how will I put it? They're used to define different part of a web page, and they are HTML5 tags, and which are very, very, very important. You can't just do without using them. It makes it's itself a div. Actually, you can use them with a div, but with a div and this semantic element in HTML, it makes people to understand your code better. It makes your code to make much sense and better. Okay, the first one we're going to talk about is okay, hold on. Let me draw a little diagram here, and from there probably you can understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's assume we have something like these are websites. Okay, here's our website. In our website, I believe most of us have gone through one or two things now. Okay, let me not do this. Let me start this way. In our website, let's assume this whole page is our website. In our website, we have the header part. There's a part where we'll get to see our navigation. Let me see if I can get a site that can show us that. Okay. Let me make use of Fiverr. Yeah, I'm on Fiverr. I do Fiverr. It's you want to know what Fiverr is? Don't worry, I'll get to explain that to you. It's one of those things I'm going to explain to you when we get to the stage. Actually, okay. Now look at this. Now we have this part is our header, where we have dashboard, Fiverr, message, other gigs, analytics, heading, community, more, switch to buying, and so on and so forth. So that particular part is the header of the page. Now HTML5 provided some syntax just to describe that particular aspect, so that someone reading your code could understand that, okay, this particular place is the header, this is where the header starts from, that's where the header ends. Okay, so we have, let's say we want to have a header, so we can say, okay, this is our header here. Again, you understand? So this is our header. Sorry, I'm just trying to make it bigger. Okay, we have a header. Now sometimes let me bring this down. Actually, I don't want to draw it here. I want everyone to see it. Okay, so we got another one. Okay, let me put it this way. Let's say we have one here, and sorry, just trying to make it work, make it happen, make it better. Okay. I'm gonna try and show you something. Just hold on. We're almost there. We are almost there. Okay. Yeah, okay, guys. Okay, sorry for the mute. Okay, if you look at this is what we have mostly when we have most of our site. There's a structure. This is how most of our site gets to look like. Okay, like the 5 hours showing the other time, we have the header, then we have the navbar, but this time around, the navbar is inside the header. So we'll say this is the header part, and navbar tends to be inside the header. There's some website that the navbar is not inside the header. Probably we have let's say we have okay, let me let me see if I could get something else here. Okay, good one. You know, sometimes there's some site where we have this carousel. I mean, this sliding image comes up before the navbar, but here we have the navbar at the top, then we have the image. Now everything here could still be classified as the header. Okay, let's not waste much of our time. So like I said, we have what we call the header. Now, like I explained, the header doesn't make any changes to your code. It just helps you organize your code to make the person reading your code that this is the header, this part is the header, and is also useful when we're making use of our CSS. Sorry for that. Okay, now if you look at the side hours, the chart little chart I drew, we have the header, then we have the nav. That's a navigation. So in HTML5 we have another syntax we call the nav syntax. Can you see? So we use this to like represent this particular aspect is the navigation. That's where we get to click our home, about us, and the likes like that. So we have the section, we have the aside, we have the footer. So we have another tag in HTML which we call the section. We use this to show that this particular place is a section, and you see all these tags they have the capacity to have a class or an ID, just like a div. So you get to see all of them. We're going to make use of everything, like everything, when we start using our CSS very well. So we have another one. We have the aside. The aside makes someone to say, okay, this is aside. That is, no matter what, this particular one is aside. Now if I refresh my page now, it's not going to go aside because it's here. We've not added any CSS to it to make it go to the side. Okay, something applies to the footer. We have an HTML5 for footer. Yeah, you see, so all these things are just to make sure that our page are well organized. They're perfectly organized. So these are the major tags I just want to talk about. When we get into more writing of codes, probably I will talk about some other tags. Okay, thank you guys, thank you very much. I just want to make sure I cover this so that I could be free. I could say, okay, I did this, I made this happen, actually worked on this. At last assume by I get some things left out. No, don't get me wrong, we still have a lot of semantic elements in HTML, but these are the major ones that I choose to talk about because we'll make use of this one more and more. Okay, thank you guys. See you soon for the CSS video. CSS is going to be interesting. You know why? CSS is supposed to be a very interesting course. You can never prove to know everything. Every day it gets better. Sometimes it gets crazy. Sometimes it gets sweet. So I'm just trying my best to make sure I break it down into pieces. I just want to beg you something. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush to build your first website. Don't be in a rush. I want us to understand every concept. I actually don't believe in just coming in here writing code for you to copy and later boom, you have a website. You could show to someone you have a website. No. I believe in teaching you every concept, teaching you everything one after the other. Then after you're able to understand, they will not come together, will be the project from what we've learned so far, and you'll be able to like gather up everything you've learned and you'll be able to get something. So that tells it. Okay, like I said, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. You can drop your questions. I promise to answer you within swift minute. As in within 2 o'clock on the high, I will always answer your question. You can drop your questions. Thank you very much. And like I said earlier on, you're always free to drop a request. Probably you want me to do a video on Flutter, you want me to do a video on React or PHP or something. You can just drop a request. Okay, thank you very much. See you in the next video. We're starting our CSS.